The self-help industry has sold you a lie about wealth mindset. They tell you to add more habits, repeat more affirmations, visualize harder. I spent 7 years following that exact playbook. I read every book, attended seminars, created vision boards, and practiced gratitude. Yet I remain fundamentally broke, cycling through the same financial limitations with different packaging. Here's what nobody tells you. You can't build a millionaire identity on top of a poor person's foundation. Real wealth transformation doesn't happen through addition. It happens through strategic subtraction, through systematically removing the identity that keeps you poor. Today, I'm showing you the formula that actually works. Your brain has a sophisticated system designed to keep you exactly who you are right now. It's called identity. Homeostasis. And it's the reason your wealth building efforts keep failing. Every time you try to accumulate money or think bigger, your subconscious mind activates protection mechanisms to pull you back to your familiar financial baseline. There are 3 core poor mindset identities that your brain will fight to preserve. The first is the scarcity survivor. This identity finds safety in limitation, constantly scanning for threats to your resources. When opportunities arise, the scarcity survivor whispers that it's too good to be true, that you should save instead of invest, that rich people are greedy. The second identity is the effort worshiper. This part of you believes that money must be earned through struggle and sacrifice. It sabotages passive income streams and rejects opportunities that seem too easy. The third is the money avoider, the identity that finds moral superiority in being broke, that associates wealth with corruption or selfishness. Here's how this plays out neurologically. Every wealth-building action you take gets filtered through your existing identity. When you try to invest, your scarcity survivor creates anxiety. When you consider raising your prices, your effort worshiper demands you work harder first. When you explore business opportunities, your money avoider generates guilt. These aren't character flaws. They're neural pathways reinforced over years of conditioning. Your current identity is literally addicted to struggle. It finds comfort in financial limitation because that's where it feels competent and safe. This is why lottery winners often lose everything within 2 years. Their sudden wealth creates massive identity conflict. Their poor mindset identity can't integrate the new reality, so it systematically destroys the wealth to restore familiar limitation. I watched this happen to someone I knew who inherited $200,000. Within 18 months, he'd spent it all on depreciating assets and bad investments. His identity as someone who never has enough money couldn't coexist with actual abundance, so his subconscious mind found ways to eliminate the conflict. The mirror test reveals which poor identity you're protecting. Look at your financial decisions from the past month. When you avoided an investment opportunity, was it scarcity survivor speaking? When you undercharged for your services, was it effort worshiper demanding more struggle? When you felt guilty about wanting more money, was it money avoider maintaining moral superiority? Your dominant poor identity is the one that shows up most consistently in your financial choices. This is why positive thinking and affirmations fail. You're trying to paste wealthy thoughts onto a poor identity. Your brain will always choose identity coherence over temporary motivation until you address the underlying identity that's generating your financial limitations. You'll keep cycling through the same patterns with different strategies. The solution isn't adding more wealth-building techniques. It's strategically subtracting the identity that's blocking your financial transformation. The transformation begins with a complete identity audit. You need to map your current financial self-concept with brutal honesty. Write down every belief you hold about money, wealth, and rich people. Include the stories you tell yourself about why you don't have more money. Document the language patterns you use when discussing finances. Notice how you describe wealthy people in conversations. This isn't therapy. It's reconnaissance. You're identifying the specific mental programming that needs to be deleted. Most people discover they're carrying their parents' financial fears, their community's money shame, and society's wealth guilt. One client found she was unconsciously repeating her mother's phrase, "Money doesn't grow on trees," dozens of times per week. Another realized he'd inherited his father's belief that rich people are lucky, which made him passive instead of strategic. The audit reveals these inherited limitations so you can consciously reject them. Phase 2. is strategic disappearance. You systematically remove poor mindset behaviors, language patterns, and social environments. Stop using victim language around money. Eliminate phrases like "I can't afford it," "money is tight," and "the economy is bad." Replace scarcity-based decision-making with abundance-based choices. Instead of asking what's the cheapest option, ask what's the highest value option. Cut toxic financial influences from your environment. This means limiting time with people who complain about money, celebrate being broke, or criticize wealth accumulation. The most crucial step is creating the vacuum. This is the uncomfortable space between your old identity and your new one. Your brain will panic during this phase because identity dissolution feels like death to your subconscious mind. You'll experience what I call identity withdrawal, anxiety, confusion, and the urge to return to familiar financial patterns. This is normal and necessary. The vacuum must exist before the new identity can install. Here's why subtraction creates compound transformation. When you remove one core limiting belief, it cascades through your entire belief system. Eliminate the belief that money is the root of all evil, and suddenly you can pursue wealth without guilt. Remove the pattern of undercharging for your services, and your self-worth increases across all areas. Delete the habit of avoiding financial conversations, and you become more strategic about money decisions. Each subtraction creates space for multiple positive changes. The practical techniques are specific and measurable. Eliminate victim language by catching yourself mid-sentence and reframing. Remove scarcity-based decision-making by asking, what would someone with abundant resources do before every financial choice? Cut toxic financial influences by spending less time with people who drain your wealth ambition and more time with those who elevate it. Track these changes daily because awareness accelerates transformation. Your brain will resist this process intensely. Identity protection is a survival mechanism, so expect psychological warfare. You'll rationalize why your old patterns were actually good. You'll find excuses to reconnect with negative financial influences. You'll feel guilty for wanting more money. This resistance is proof the process is working. Push through by remembering that your current identity created your current financial results. If you want different results, you need a different identity. The timeline is approximately 90 days for initial identity reset. The first 30 days involve intense resistance as your old patterns fight for survival. Days 30 to 60 show gradual acceptance as new behaviors become familiar. Days 60 to 90 demonstrate integration as your new identity begins generating different financial choices automatically. Complete transformation takes longer, but the fundamental shift happens within this initial period. Once you've created the vacuum through strategic subtraction, your mind naturally fills the space with wealth-aligned thoughts and behaviors. This isn't forced positive thinking. It's organic identity evolution. The new identity emerges because you've removed the barriers that were blocking it. The millionaire identity rests on three foundational pillars. First is abundance assumption. Instead of scanning for scarcity, you automatically assume resources are available and opportunities exist. Second is value creation focus. Your default thinking shifts from "how can I get money" to "how can I create value that generates money." Third is long-term thinking dominance. Short-term pleasure and immediate gratification become less compelling than long-term wealth accumulation and strategic positioning. You'll recognize successful transformation through specific behavioral markers. You start having different conversations about money, focusing on opportunities rather than obstacles. Your investment decisions become bolder and more strategic. You charge appropriately for your services without guilt or justification. You seek out wealthy mentors and successful business relationships. You think in terms of systems and leverage rather than trading time for money. Maintaining the new identity requires protecting against regression. Your old patterns will occasionally resurface, especially during stress or uncertainty. The key is catching these moments quickly and consciously choosing your millionaire identity response. Surround yourself with people who reinforce your wealth-building identity. Consume content that supports abundance thinking. Make financial decisions that align with who you're becoming, not who you used to be. The multiplication effect is the most powerful aspect of authentic identity transformation. One genuine shift in how you see yourself creates exponential opportunities. When you truly believe you're someone who creates value and accumulates wealth, you notice possibilities that were invisible before. You take actions that seemed impossible from your old identity. You attract relationships and opportunities that match your new financial self-concept. The external world reorganizes around your internal transformation. Real wealth transformation happens through strategic subtraction, not addition. You can't build a millionaire mindset on top of a poor person's foundation. The formula that actually works involves auditing your current financial identity, systematically removing limiting beliefs and behaviors, creating space for new patterns to emerge, and protecting your transformation from regression. Your next step is beginning the identity audit process today. Write down every belief you hold about money and identify which poor mindset identity is controlling your financial decisions. Subscribe for the advanced millionaire mindset techniques that build on this foundation.